Hey, shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Ba'ashem
Ba'ashem,
Yahushai,
Yahushai,
Ba'ashem
Ba'ashem, Akakodash.
Akakodash.
You know, the blood of the elders and the apostles of great milestone that rule well. Salvation to the Akim, pushing his truth. In sincerity to the four corners of the earth, to the few aquatic listen and learning, being obedient to the husband. A few brothers say from Trinidad, GMS Prophetic Vibration Camp. Back on our lesson to the spirit and power of Ba'ashem Yahushai. As the title of the lesson, Sheikh, this is not your heaven, this is your hell. And you understand that Sheikh, you know, in their mindset, having a house, having a car, you know, having a government work, you understand? In their mindset, paying the bills and stuff, that they are in their heaven. Well, basically, they make it. Because from since small growing up, all in your mind is just you want to make it, and you want to make it in a place where run by the wicked. If you could start with Job 9 and 24. We understand who the earth is given unto. So if the earth is given unto the wicked, how this could be our heaven, right? So the brother go get it here.
Let's look at Job chapter 9 and 24. And read, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
So you understand when Jacob was given his blessing, right? And when Esau was given his blessing, right now Esau in his blessing. The dews of the heaven, if you get that precept, the dew of the heaven basically falling upon him. And at this time, because this is the ones who in charge of the central bank, this is the ones who in charge of money, in want of all things, as I say in going to the book of Deuteronomy 28, it talks about the curses in want of all things, and will be served unto the lender. And who basically lending? Who's the one who in control of these banks? Who you had to go for a loan when they go to central bank, Republic Bank? Who you going for loan? And if you really watch it, Jake don't really get anything just so without going owing somebody or doing something basically, you know, out of order, which is against the scripture. You understand? Jake always going on stooping, as what Will Smith say. I don't know if you can remember the quote we make. Basically, you know, the more you go deep into this, or the more money you make, is more problems. You understand? And the things you have to do for the money, and that is the whole height about it.
Yeah, this will make up where they will do some change for a piece of change. They will sacrifice. They will always do something, and the leaders in Israel, right, who doing that something right now, they going totally off, because really and truly this thing here, what the Lord have is a secret thing.
And that is it. You understand?
Right.
Well, I think I have it here. Let's bring the verification sake. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 27. I'll start at verse 37. I read, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I give to him for servant, and with corn and wine have I sustained him, and what shall I do now unto thee, my son? This is Isaac talking to basically Esau. So verse 38, it says, and Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Question mark. It read, bless me, even me also. So basically Esau begging, right? Let's get in the phone here. Get the precept and verse, right? We reach verse 38, right? So reading back verse 38, and Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lift up his voice and weep. So basically Esau, crying and begging his father, which is Isaac, to bless him, give him a blessing. So verse 39, going to the point, it say, and Isaac his father also, Salah, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above, and by the sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, which is present tense, as we see we living in, heading into the end, as it say in the book of it's Second Ezra 6 and 9. For the end of Esau queendom is the beginning of Jacob that follow it. So this is not a kingdom Esau Edom ruling. So you understand what gonna happen is, the older gonna serve the younger. So it say, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck.
Of thy neck.
Of thy neck. Right?
Yeah, so that's saying that when we ruling, we're gonna break that yoke of what they have on us.
That is it. So, we head into a time, as the scripture say, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, or it say must go into captivity. You understand? So Esau Edom basically, he is blessed here, but also, you understand, he is cursed. That is it,
He blessed, but he cursed. He get blessed with the fatness of the earth and dew, and the thing about this is he transfer that also to the other nations, because the scripture mentioned that the gatherers, it mentioned that the ones that trade by sea, it mentioned the kings of the earth made fornication with her, which is they help put the children of Israel in slavery. They help with all that, and they also have a part to play. But when you understand it, the children of Israel, they don't know. The scripture said the ox know it, and the ass know it, his master's crib. But Israel do not know. So Israel, not knowing, they're doing wickedly. They're doing anything, because we always have people never know. You understand? We always never had fun, and that's what they think, at least, because in slavery coming up, they taught us to believe that. So now, when you get something, you feel like on top of the world.
Proverbs.
You understand? And Jacob 100,000, you feel like he's Pharaoh. And with that feeling, you don't want to ever lose that feeling. You don't want to lose that feeling. Now, you like how it feels to have money and convenience and be able to do what you want. So you're willing to do anything to keep that position.
Can.
And some Jakes trap. They can't leave. Like the entertainment world, they trap. If they leave, they go die.
That is it.
Yeah.
Get authority. Type of authority. You can.
What's it there, yeah?
No killing authority. Full moon. Yeah, can. Something proposed. Yeah, can. So as the brother saying, on this side, anytime you're going more up and up, you understand, you're gonna make yourself a target. So you understand, when you go into the book of Ecclesiastes, the Lord say basically, I think Ecclesiastes say, eat and drink and give marry, or Mary basically, it basically live a peaceful and humble life. And Apostle go back when I'm dead. We just lay back, guys. We just lay back, living a humble life, serving Yahweh Shem Shai, and to the world. It could be boring, because we're not, all in these clubs, you understand, bracing no celebrities and saying, well done, you're doing great.
Yeah, you that generally, Anna, you greeting Neo and these wicked men in clubs. First the beginning with you and the team not supposed to be in no clubs. The Lord make we are a representation of the righteous.
You
understand? And a spectacle, they're looking on. Right? And why we in the clubs in a big way, because it's not like you're hiding. And even if you're hiding, you're caught because you have all you have only jerseys. And you're representing the Lord. You're supposed to be representing the Lord. But the Lord said that He do that so that it will be manifest. That they're not the real prophets.
That is it. And you cannot fall in you and them gonna be in, like they're gonna tap into that orgy and that 3 in one bed, 4 in one bed. You understand? That kind of sodomite kind of behavior. You understand? And you just, if you really watch it in the music industry, they go push a man having 7 or 5 or 3 wives, but behind that is 4 or 5 men. You understand? Behind closed doors is Diddy finish. There's a whole Diddy finish with a lot of them, where Diddy basically touch them. You understand? So, hey, the kind of wickedness that is taking place, As the brother had the precept, you have it there when he you have it?
Proverbs 29 and 2.
Okay, 10 and 42. Alright, this is the book of Proverbs 29 and verse 2.
Yeah, and it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear it rule, the people mourn.
So how this gonna be your heaven? You understand? When what's going on right now with the street. And with the street, everything right now, like simple like you know, your oil, your gas, you understand, your food prices, all these things people a lot of people losing their jobs, you understand? Deporting, bringing in as much ships as how it used to bring in ships and bring in basically substance, you know, whatever it is basically to build up a country or add to you know the people, everything being taken away.
Yeah, everybody GDP kind of low right now.
That's it.
Based on, firstly, you know, the imported goods being due to the Strait of Hormuz being closed, all these things coming.
Tariffs.
And the prices going up, so it leading to inflation.
That's it.
And when inflation lead to hyperinflation, and then people start to lose their jobs, and they start to, who gonna come with the solution? You know, Babylon gonna come with the solution, pass it down to your government, and your government's going and turn it up. Now they must bring that farming, right?
That's it.
Because the farming gonna initiate, make it docile, and when you get docile, you're gonna rely on the government, because the scripture talk about it in Isaiah 30 and 31. Right?
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 30. And I'll start from verse 1. And it reads, woe to the rebellious children, say the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin upon sin, that walk to go down into Egypt. And that is it. The reason why they got add sin upon sin, because basically in a comfort zone. The Lord haven't judging them. The Lord haven't judged them for the the Lord is slack on the land, so they're doing the wickedness and they're telling themselves nobody really. And that's why they like JC. That's why they love the Jesus, because they ain't getting, you know, the Lord ain't judging them speedily. You understand? They ain't getting judged one time, but they don't understand how the Lord said prophecy when they go into the book of Ezekiel 9. It says set up a mark upon him in that sigh and cry, and set the mark on the rest of basically, which is the sword. You understand? The rest who was marked for the sword and the one who was marked for exemption. So that was a show the ones who thinking that this is the heaven, and they love Esau Edom queendom, which is Egypt. We're trusting to Egypt. Wait, say that we'll go down to Egypt, right? Go down into Egypt and have not asked of my mouth, which is the prophets require of the prophets, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt, right? So and that is it, trust in the shadow of Egypt, the trust in the system. So when the system collapsing right now, as a lot of people who are office work, a lot of people who are government work, as a brother was now breaking it down with the wassa, a lot of who doing the pipe fitting and painting pipes and digging the holes and painting down pipes and all these things. All these works gonna be laid off in Trinidad. What gonna happen now? You know, when a lot of these children who fit in schools who are coming in for the passes, and now you know have 6 jobs and 6 A's and 2 1s and all these things. When they go now to go and apply for work, they're not qualified or they don't have the experience, and nobody have time right now to bring in nobody new to teach them or to play with the business, because everybody business crashing right now. So they want to make sure nobody can come in to make any mistake or just come. They want the business to run. And a lot of Northern Kingdom, which is the Spanish, and them came across here, the Venezuelans come across here, and a lot of them being hired. So Asha being happy. Asha being happy across in Trinidad, they get all the jobs because they getting paid less than minimum wage. And even if they get paid minimum wage, they have to work overtime with 2-3 extra hours just for that minimum wage. And they're not complaining, but Jake is complaining because Jake had to come clean with Jake, and that the Elamites also, and the Elamites getting all the jobs.
Yeah, but the thing about the Jacob Shovel gonna hit them, because them is Jakes too.
That is it.
So when it started hit and everybody started get hit left, right and center, they're gonna wanna look for something where the Lord say you're gonna laugh. You understand? Because when you understand Isaiah 30, it go tiny in with the second verse here, it's the third verse. It says, therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion, because all the trust you're trusting in them and everything, for the government to handle it, for the government to see about the food and everything. You can't trust in them because what the scriptures say in let me see if I can read Isaiah 36 and 6. Yeah, where it says, Lo thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, which go back to the system. It says, on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. Until lean is just means to trust. Because you trust this thing, so you go lean on it to hold you up. Right? So, if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. So you trust in Egypt, you go down, you get asked for help, they tell you what to do, whatever the case may be. And you function, you do this, you set up a life insurance, you set up something for your children, everything you set up. But you set it up through under Esau. Right? But you don't know that Esau is the deceiver, because the scriptures tell you that, but you don't believe in the scriptures, so you don't know. You didn't take heed of the warning of the men of the Lord, so you don't know. You know, some might go trust into Egypt, do this bank transfer here. They have a business, the business going well, they start it up. But as soon as Esau's system crash, where the scripture talk about this broken reed, right? This broken system, because you see all them insurances was supposed to bring you back on your feet. But again, we dealing with the deceiver, we dealing with the devil.
That's right.
If a man trust him, he go pierce you.
That's why it say the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. And when you go down into the title of the lesson, it say this is not your heaven, basically, this is your hell. So when they thinking in Egypt and the mirth and they enjoying themselves, then heaven, when the son of perdition being revealed, then they're gonna understand that there was in confusion that this is the hell. You understand? This is when they're gonna realize that they can't go to the drugstore, they can't go to the bank, the ATM, they can't go to get the groceries, the stuff to buy, to cook. You understand? They can't get any water to drink. You understand? The lights black out, there's dark nights.
Because how long you go protest for? Right? Let me say, but the bank have no money and this. How long you go protest?
We want we money right now.
We need the money right now. And then you're protesting now for a week, 2 weeks, and then what? You get compliance because you realize that they're not budging, the system not budging, they don't have to budge.
Or unrighteous decrees, they will tell them, anyone who come out to protest will get cast into prison.
Or they start to kill them.
They start to kill them out there, that is it.
Because the prison thing not working anymore. They say, you know what? Then we start to delete some of them.
Yeah.
And they're deleting them on the streets for everybody to see. Now plenty people frightened when they're going back home hungry. They got rioting, they got looting. You understand? But what is the purpose of the rioting in the first place? The government not budging.
That is it.
That is when Esau now going to start to really show he horns.
That is it.
And show you that he's a real devil.
That is it, the Revelation 12 and 12. You understand? You can bring out that.
You can bring it out.
Can. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 verse 12. And we're going to use this Revelation 13 and verse 16. So this is the book of Revelation 12 and 12. And when this take place, is basically the enemy coming like a flood. But the Lord have his remnant, the 7,000 men that, basically never bow to the image of Baal. This is the men who, when I was drinking, going back to the precept when I was talking about the men who, when I was drinking the water, they never, had the whole face down in that water and drinking with it gluttonly. These men was basically circumspect while drinking and watching their surroundings, because they know when the enemy cometh. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 12. It said, therefore rejoice ye heaven, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time.
Yeah, and this speaking levels too. When you understand, it says, rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell therein, right? Ye that dwell in them. Heavens going back to the rulership. The rulership of the whole world. right? Esau, Edom, and the other nations coming down. Rejoice for now. But here what going to come, it says, the devil is going to come down unto you with great wrath. Esau coming with this one world order for the whole entire world.
That's right.
He wants to rule everything, and he has a solution, but the Lord have another plan.
That's it.
Because why it say he has a short time, it show you that the Lord not a plan. His plan not going to work while he is yet full in his belly. Right? The Lord gonna come down on him and rain it on his head.
Fast piece for your one line.
Can
This is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 5. Can. I'm going to read from verse 4. It says, knowing thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So the 250 years we're celebrating recently, you celebrating your downfall. You celebrating your time being up. You understand? You have your doomsday clock. You understand? You have all these things. You have your sun, you have your perfect looking glass. You understand? You have all these truths from the ancient texts where you feel that you go down into an offset prophecy. But we keep on telling you this, Esau Edom, the more you do to bring your queendom to an end. The more you heat up and say, alright, the ceasefire and pull back, drawn back from Iran, so that they let go missiles on them, so that rain missiles on them. We applaud you.
Yeah, because the subliminal message what they send out in Avengers, right? Where Thanos representing Yahushua coming and destroying the place. But then now they went to Doctor Strange and he tell them that there's one possibility that we could win this thing. Right? And Esau believe and take that chain up from the spiritual entity that there's a possibility that he could win. You understand? What the scripture say, the inward thought is that the houses will continue forever.
That's it.
But the Lord put that thought in your head. You understand? So that they could do all they had to do and still fall. And anybody that under them financially, in any way matter of fact, because it say they lean on them, right? So leaning on them is trusting them. Anybody trusting Esau in any type of way going to fall, because there's a prophecy also in Revelation where you talk about the merchandisers. They were looking afar off when America was burning down and they were saying, we can no longer traffic our goods with them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a precept. Let's see if I get a precept.
And even when it's saying in the book of Ezekiel chapter 28, it speaks about, going to be the strangers of a nation, you understand, to bring them down to that pit. So the Esau Edom hyping up himself, think that what he do to Venezuela, he think he could do onto Iran. Yeah, they come again, because this is prophecy for you. This is what the Lord showing that you get fall in the snare. That snare, the least of the flock drawing you out, which is Israel drawing you out to the Middle East. You understand? To be their shield, their guard. You understand? But what the Lord talk about Gog and Magog. You understand? They talk about Russia being a guard unto these other nations who saying they are weak. You understand? Which is Iran and these other ones who join with the BRICS. You understand? This is prophecy for you. You understand? And what gonna happen? All going to hear the war, which is what? You understand? Esau Edom. You understand? And all who are alive with him also. Yeah,
you can. That is Revelation 18. Let's see if I get it real quick here. Revelation 18 and 15. Right, it says, Revelation 18 and 15, it says, the merchants of these things, which we mark into, if you go up, we talk about the cinnamon, the flour, the silver, the gold, right, even slaves, right? It says, the merchants of these things, which were made rich by her, right? It says, shall stand afar off for the fear of a torment, weeping and wailing, and saying, alas, alas, that great city, that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried, when they saw the smoke of a burning, saying, "What city is like unto this great city?"
And so your stock market, all these things crash.
The Chinese, everybody, they
yeah.
see money. They make so much money off of America.
That is it.
The scripture say they wax rich. They're gonna ball.
They're gonna cry. It'll be like, hey, this US dollar and basically America, and the ones who doing all the buying is jigs.
That is
you understand? The ones
consumers.
Consume, and the one who consuming the most is the Israelites. So when they realize that they can't do that trading if it's to make weave.
and the thing about it is this scripture talking about the kings and the leaders who really had a place. So what about the man underneath? Who does have a little couple million? He live in, he have a little 100 million, a little 50 million. 100. What about the men who have hundreds of thousands of dollars? Who else had the businesses set up in America?
They're gonna be like, no more the items to sell upon in the shelves, because the shelves gonna be LT. You see, the soon place is gonna seem on soon. So this is a show that, because we know who the one who runs basically in Babylon, all these mass, always call them in Babylon, the country that is Marcy in Babylon.
The big enterprise.
Yeah, the big enterprises on them. I forget the names. That whole different types. But that good bit of them closed down recently. You understand? And more they're gonna be shutting down, stores in Babylon. You understand? Because this is what's gonna take place. You understand? As the brother say, it's a spiritual farming, which is the farming of the wood. But one of the farming gonna hit Jake the most is the physical farming, because they do fast. They are accustomed eating ham, lamb, and jam. That's how they say it in Trinidad. Ham, lamb, and jam. So they wanna eat, drink, enjoy themselves, commit adultery, or all kind of different abomination, and they feel that everything gonna be okay. Things in the Apocrypha. Yeah, everything gonna be okay. The Apocrypha, Ecclesiasticus. Yeah. So I think it's second Esdras. So you understand that a lot of these places gonna be empty. So we're gonna leave Jake to reach that point, survival mode, and their survival mode is gonna be looting and shooting. You understand? They ain't have regard for anyone. They're gonna be doing their own thing. You understand? Because they realize to themselves that hey, we had to survive, and we know, as it's in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the necessities of a man's life: flour, the wheat, the iron, the gold, the sugar, the salt. So you understand, this is what Esau Edom gonna take away from you. Esau Edom gonna take away from you all. You understand that you feel that you could go on a daily and get your bread, get your cheese, get your milk. It have no more of that. The place gonna go into a collapse. It gonna go into a siege. It gonna go into basically chaos, because other countries gonna be attacking other countries, other cities gonna be attacking other cities, and then they're gonna reach to one realm against another realm, where the physical realm go feel that they come up against the spiritual realm, which when the Lord return, Yahweh Shai. That is 2 Esdras 6 and 22. You can bring all that and look at the close off.
Let me see. Before 22. Yeah, straight to the point. 22, yeah, that is part of the channel. Let me get this precept here. 2 Esdras.
6 and 22.
6 and 22. Straight to the point. It says, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Right? And the thing about it is 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall be suddenly afraid. And the thing about it is that day, what they say in the Christian church trying to describe it as a big sound. You're gonna hear that is not what it's saying there. It's a trumpet is an alarm. So when the alarm is sound, as in they declare it on your news, or they declare it and tell you, well, there's no food, the flour mills is shut down, Ibis is shutting down, this place is shutting down, all the grocery owners close up the
Grinding
grocery, you know, what is the case? People is going to be afraid.
And what gonna happen?
Panic buying, looting.
Yeah.
Come
so,
on.
Like the brother said this on point, because what he said in continuing verse 24.
Verse 24, it says, "And at that time shall friends fight against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run." You know why? Because think about it. Farming is not only eating, farming is also drinking. So the Lord gonna get rid of water,
Dry up all
the rivers, where you feel you're gonna have water, and even the government too.
Yeah,
Because the government is already in control of a lot of rivers, you know, Wassa down in Trinidad here, and for them to dry up the place physically easy. So they have control of it already. Then there's the water factory. The scripture talk about they go to them in want of all things. That was a curse. Now, when that curse was given, right, a lot of people didn't understand is the water factories, the pipe, the water coming in the pipe, you know, always, and that all lies the Lord. So now thinking on it, you can't really trust the devil in any way. Scripture say that. They say, as iron rusted, so it is wickedness.
That's right.
The devil don't really care about anybody, and not even his own people, as it say. If he care about anybody, if he do anything good, it's by a mistake. He didn't intend to do it. You understand? And now we understand that, and you know that we can't trust the devil, is where we clearly understand that only Yahweh Hashem Yahushua we can trust in this time.
We can, and only the men of the Lord will know this is not our heaven. This is basically our hell. This is a place of confusion. This is a place where the wicked is ruling. He enjoying his blessing. You understand? And while he enjoying his blessing, he know what he have a short time. So he would take as much of who he want to take with him. You understand? So the more Esau Edom, you know, portray these music, portray these wicked tutors to be, you understand, the celebrities, and you following after the celebrities, the ones them who take the bag, twisting up the name of the Lord, twisting up the doctrine, you understand? As the scripture say, who turn the truth into a lie, you understand? And serve the creature more than the creator, you understand? And that is it. This is mankind for you. And a lot of these women, they don't know who's their Lord. They don't know the order that's in the book of Corinthians. For the head of Yahushua is Yahweh. For the head of man is Yahushua, and for the head of woman is man. They don't know the order that the Lord set. So that's why they being stiff-necked, hard-headed, rebellious, wicked. They being H03. You understand, out there with the S at the end. You understand? That's what they being out there. You understand? Thirsty travelers. So they also gonna get a serious awakening. The ones them who don't fear the Lord, and the ones them who get themselves right and getting the act right, because there's a certain characteristics with the prophet, and a certain order or a certain function that we just deal with. And once they coming on our function, our order, then hey, kick rocks. You understand? As my brother, I'm one go by, so I always say to you all women, if you don't get yourself in the right order, because you thinking this is your heaven, when you hit the fan and you realize this is your hell, you're going to run, come and farm on the Lord, and it's going to be too late.
But the thing about it, the scripture talk about these women that settle, right?
Yeah, in the least.
These women always settle. The woman was never settled when it was in the ancient days, when they had to deal with real men.
That's right.
Even the other nations had real men. You understand? Because the other nations would have pattern Israel. That would learn a lot of things from Israel, right? They would have pattern it, being a real man. But it always had funny men and this and that since ancient days to now. But as long as women and men of Israel understand that this is not your rest, is when they will come out of that mental state of not listening to the Lord and being disobedient. Because you see, thinking there's your rest, you're gonna prepare for here. You're gonna make sure here good. And you see about this and you see about that, and your mind far from the Lord. But when you understand this is not your rest, you're going to prepare for what is to come mentally. Right? You're going to prepare for the dangers in my head and to prepare your mind. And by preparing your mind also, you have to do what the Lord requires from you, because that is also being prepared. You understand? When the scripture say, a wise man foresee the evil and hideth himself. You can't be hidden if the Lord don't want you to be hidden. So if you're hidden in the Lord, which is being in the shoot, that is you doing what the Lord requires from you. Going out, preaching, videos, fasting, praying, and you know you're doing your righteous deeds when you're on your own as well too, because one or two little tests will come your way, and the tests gonna come your way until the end.
That is it.
So tests not stopping. You understand? It's because a righteous man falleth and rise it back up. Right? But the thing about it is, they that fall and stay down, when it is real test come, the scripture say the mark of the beast gonna come to try all men. That is also a test. When that come now, and what the scripture say, the Lord keepeth us from the hour of temptation. That's roughly paraphrasing, right? That time gonna be a temptation hour. You're gonna be tempted to take it due to all the things that we just mentioned. Farming, having nothing, you know, the trumpet blowing, and they're so afraid because they don't know what to do. The scripture says they're gonna be in perplexity, not knowing where to turn. Perplexity showing you they don't know what to do. And that state is sending you more mad than you being calm and knowing exactly what to do. Call upon the Lord. Call upon Yahweh Shemiyah, because they have nothing else to do. They in the world now, they're gonna try, and that's the thing. I witnessed it with a lady. I know a lady who, she was a Christian. She leave that Roman. She tried all the Christian religions first, and then she turned into a Muslim, and then she leave being a Muslim, and she right now she in the temple. That's the last state I see she.
She going through the pin,
She in the temple now because she tried everything, and she realized that the Hinduism thing is for she. But if you only know the judgment, and that's not for you. When them realize that you not really think them go and get rid of you.
Can't, because a lot of them is a faithless generation, a generation of impatient. They don't require of the prophets, because hey, as we know, back then the Lord always sending a prophet before the destruction come. So you seeing young men dress up with sackcloth, which you're supposed to understand, because a lot of you all read the Bible. You're supposed to understand this is our mourning sackcloth we have when we mourning for the house of Israel. When they read the book of Ezekiel, we're taking all the blood of the people of our hands. You're supposed to understand now, boy, hey, these men showing up here in these last days, preaching the downfall of this place, saying that this gonna happen and that gonna happen, and you're seeing earthquake in diverse places. You're seeing that the place collapsing, you're seeing that things getting harder and harder. Like the crowd in Trinidad, the place is getting harder and harder. So what's gonna happen, obviously, you understand, is all hell gonna break loose as more and more people things get harder, and more the people's hearts are waxing colder and colder. A lot of deletion is taking place.
And then too, the scripture also mentioned the last state of that man after all them spirits.
Oh.
So the heart waxing cooler and cooler, deletion taking place, but more and more spirits entering into them.
That is it.
Into them bodies.
That is it.
Jake's how that's more and more. You can't see it, but we know it's legions, according to what the Lord see. Because if you don't have the Lord, it's only evil spirits dwelling in you.
That is it. So hey, as we know, this is not our heaven, this is our hell, which is the state of confusion, and this is one of the worst captivity that Israel can. This is where Israel, you know, don't even know who they are as a nation. You understand? This as the brother bring it out, the ox knows his owner, the ass is master script, but Israel do not the desire. You understand? This is desire to know the Lord. You understand? Huh? Yeah. They bring out that one?
Yeah.
But we get out now.
They Micah 2:10 here. There's a very last precept. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction."
That is it. So they want to take the M to the O to the T to the B. We're gonna be a destruction. These ICBM going to touch down. Famine, plague, sword, as the brother say, the robots, pestilence, even the plagues. You understand? The Lord say, you know, even new plagues, the spirit created for vengeance, the teeth are wild beasts. Three things, the three types. I think it's the book of Jeremiah talk about the three types. You understand? The teeth are wild beasts, so you understand? Hey, the Lord gonna make all these judgment come upon the wicked for the evil deeds. So we now enter into the kingdom, we examine ourselves daily, repenting, We're working with our salvation with fear and trembling, knowing that this is not our rest. As the brother read, you understand? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. So hey, with that, hope this video is edifying through the spirit and power of Hashem Yahushai. We want to give all praise and honor and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh.
Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well once again. Salutation to the Aquat to listen and learning, be obedient to the husband. If you Aquat, if the Akiam Salakia, the pushing the shoot in sincerity to the four corners of the earth, keep on, feeding your sheep, starving your dogs, feeding your feet. As Big Brother Calab is always say. With that, we say shalom to the like.
Shalom.